Yeah, so core is one thing I've probably struggled with for a long, long time. And I think a lot of people do in the gym. So they get in and they go under the bar. They can get up to a certain weight, but they don't really know how to brace. And it's probably taken me about 3 or 4 years to actually learn how to brace. And I'll tell you why it's so important. All right. You probably will. So if you are under the bar now, you'll get up to a certain weight. And then because you're not bracing, you'll end up just going to some poor spinal pattern and you'll hurt yourself. It's probably happened to a couple of people already. All right, so core, it's different for everybody. My philosophy around core is anything attached to your lumbar, spine, or pelvis, okay? So a lot of people just say it's their abs, solid abs, a big six-pack, and you have a good core. Six-pack doesn't mean anything. Six-pack is basically your body fat. Core stability is kind of what we're kind of focusing on. So anything connected to your lumbar spine and pelvis, that's either your lats, so that goes all the way down to your pelvis, or it could be your quads, your glutes, anything around that area. That's what I think the core is anyway. So 2 parts to it. You have your passive and then you have your active core. Passive core is basically just the structural stuff, okay? So your spine, your joints, and your central nervous system. You can't really control that, all right? Your active core is what we kind of really focus on. So your muscles around, so everywhere around that lower lumbar, so lower part of your spine and your pelvis, and then non-contractile tissues. It's just like ligaments and fascia. So core stability, the definition of it, this is just a really cut down version that I kind of made it into myself. So it's the ability to control your trunk over your pelvis to allow optimal production, transfer, and the control of force and movement. Okay, sounds like a load of gibberish, but that's basically what it is. Okay, so if you have no core stability, you're going to have a reduction in that. So a reduction in force and poor posture, and then obviously it says energy leaks, but could lead to injury as well. Okay, so really important. So why we need it? It's to protect our spine. It's so important. All right, so 3 kind of parts to our core. You have your local stabilizers, your global stabilizers, and your global movers. Okay, so local stabilizers. So there's 3 different parts. That there's like the inside part, which is basically like your deep core muscles, like your transverse abdominis. You'd say your erectors are probably, but you're not really training them when you're doing like ab sit-ups. When you're targeting your local stabilizers, so the deep core muscles, it's when you brace. Doing your core work, take a deep breath in, hold them. That's when you're building that kind of strength up. And that's kind of, that's where a lot of people think they can brace or think they can actually get a strong core by doing like sit-ups all the time, but it doesn't really work. Okay, core stability is what we're kind of focusing on. Your second one, your global stabilizers, that's the outside, that's your external obliques. So the ones at your side, your abs, say your lats or anything like that. Oh, so, sorry, no, your lats will be your global movers. But any kind of ones around the outside, there'll be your global stabilizers. And then your global movers are the ones that I was saying will be your glutes. You can say your quads, you can say your lats, but anything that kind of moves through like a multi-segmental exercise, okay, like squat, deadlift, bench. All right, 3 things to focus on. What I really want to focus on here is that first one, your local stabilizers. So your TVA, transverse abdominis, deep core ones, okay? So bracing for lifts. And how do you brace? That's the question. I think what happens with a lot of times with coaches is they just tell people to take a deep breath in and you don't really know what you're doing. You're kind of just pushing your belly out. Don't really understand why you're doing it. It's to obviously protect your spine, but it's a weird one. It's a weird one. It's hard to just tell someone to breathe in, squat down. They don't really know how to do it. So everybody in the seat now, you can even practice this now. So taking a deep breath in, but think about blowing out, but not actually blowing out. Okay, so trying to fill up, say there's a balloon in your belly, you're filling up that balloon, holding it. Now I'm going to try blow out through my mouth, but actually not blow through my mouth. Okay, so you should nearly feel like your stomach's going to explode up. Okay, that's what bracing is. Now it's really easy to do that when you don't have anything on your back. All right, it's completely different. I have 100 kg in my back and I try to brace like that. It's going to be so much harder because you're getting compressed down. All right. But what was I going to say? So every time you get better. Yeah. So basically how you get better and how I got better at bracing and all my lifts is just doing it over and over and over again. So that was basically me going into the gym, 20 kg or even just the bar for my warm-ups, look like an absolute gobshite, taking a deep breath in with no weight on it, going down, doing my squat, people looking at me like, who's this gobshite bracing for 20 kg? But the only reason why I was doing it is just the repetition, just to get better. Just constantly do it. Okay. So anytime you're in the gym or if you're training on your own, practice, 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 even if you're doing bodyweight squats. All right. That's how you're going to get better at it. So important to kind of get control of your core and learn how to brace. And I'll tell you why now in a minute. And this kind of relates back to your 3 lifts. So see that second line there? You need to create full body tension. Okay. If you don't create full body tension, there will be energy leaks in your compound movements. Okay.